All right, check mic 212. Please let me know if you can hear my voice and the actually the sound is good enough so that we could continue. Let me open the chat box to see your answers. Okay, so I think that all is set. And we will start in just a couple of seconds. Just waiting for the rest to join the room. Okay, awesome. So greetings once again. I'm glad to see you all. Today you will get a bunch of useful information. So even if you attended previous webcast, which was also dedicated to our newest update, what are the features that we've created and finally added, you will find a bunch of useful information as well, because I will cover today new types of orders that we've added, and the one is going to be the TVAP, and also I will provide you with more trade opportunities based on the patterns and technical analysis. So I will teach you how to use it and in order to create and to configure automated bots that we have here at Bitsgap. And first of all, my name is Dmitry. I'm the portfolio manager trader, and today I will be your host. So if you are a newcomer, then fasten your seatbelt, as I will explain everything to you today so that you will be able to start trading on the spot market, on futures market that we've recently enabled at Bitsgap, as well as you will be able to launch your first automated bot if you have never ever launched any automated algorithms before. So let's start. And today I will cover first of all the features of the trading terminal, futures trading, which is finally enabled. So what you have to do, so what are these steps to start trading futures on Bitsgap, the analytical tools that we have developed for you to empower you with efficient instruments to discover optimal strategies, to analyze the market, to find optimal automated configurations to achieve biggest results. And of course, ready-made strategies, basics, and what it takes to launch automated algorithms in just 1 minute. So let's start, and we will start with the trading terminal 2.0. So let's go and let's open the main page. Okay, so here's the notification about the webinar, and the first page here as you log in is the trading section. Notice that right now I'm using the newest dashboard, which is still in the beta mode, so you can actually switch to the stable version as well, but that's not the topic of today's webcast, and we will use the new version. And as you can see on the left side, you have the what I call the analytics board. You have the order book, so you have all information about the current demand on the market, as well as current supply on the market. So these are the sellers in this case, and these are the buyers. So you see the disposition in this case, which you can actually switch to only the sell mode. So only sell limit orders currently placed in the order book, and same with the buy limit orders as well. And below you have recent trades. That's the one that we had in the previous version as well. Basically that shows you all of the trades that have been recently initiated on the market. And below, like on the very top, sorry, at the very bottom, you have what I call the buying and selling pressure indicator, which tells you and actually can show you what is the buying power throughout the last 1, 5, 15 and 30 minutes, as well as what is the selling pressure on the market during this period of time. So it's clearly obvious here that during the last 15 minutes there was a selling pressure on the market that significantly outstrips the buying power here. So it looks like right now sellers are pushing the market, and that's for the waves trading to Bitcoin. And here I can actually switch to another one. Okay, that's actually strange because I did not move my arms and did not press the button to mute my voice. What about now? Just tell me if you can hear my voice. Should be fine. Yeah, okay, so let me continue. So yeah, once again, here you have this indicator which shows you exactly the selling and buying pressure on the market. And that's some sort of the overview of whether buyers right now are winning over the sellers, or the opposite is happening right now on the market. Sellers are actually pushing the market down. So, and that's it actually. The left side corresponds to the analytics. And from the psychological perspective, that has a reasoning, because first things first, you have to analyze the market, right? And only after you analyze the market, you make the decision. So that's why the decision board is on the right side of the dashboard. So once you've come up with your idea of what you are going to do, like, are you going to buy the cryptocurrency or are you going to sell the cryptocurrency, then right after that you go to the right side. And here you have all of the orders which you can use. So original orders are limit order, so that's the limit buy and of course limit sell. And you have also the market order, that's going to be an instant trade execution. But remember that for market buy and for market sell orders, you have to pay a higher fee to the exchange. Whereas it can be the case that for limit orders, that's actually the exchange pays you, because you are the market maker in this case. And then you are the market taker, which is market order. Then you actually have to pay a fee higher relative to the limit order, because you want to get the priority from the market. And for this, first priority, you have to pay a bigger fee. So this stop limit here is basically the same as the limit, but the only thing is that you have the trigger price. And the trigger price here is known as the stop price. So that's the price at which you want the system to place a limit sell or limit buy order. So let's say that as soon as the market reaches 16,400, I want Bitsgap to place a sell limit order at, let's say, 16,600, and let's say I already possess some Bitcoins, and that's gonna be the value I'm about to sell. So as soon as the market reaches 16,400, the Bitsgap on your behalf will create a limit sell order, so that next time, if the market keeps rising at 16,600, it will automatically execute the limit sell order. So that's the way of how you can use the stop limit order, and you can actually use it as a stop loss for your current trades as well. And the new thing here that I want to explain to you today is the TVAP instrument, which is a very interesting one, because imagine that you have the cryptocurrency with the very relatively small, insignificant liquidity on the market. So meaning that this crypto is not being traded that much as, let's say, Bitcoin or any other popular like Ethereum or BNB. There are indeed so many cryptocurrencies that are less traded than BTC and Ethereum. So that means that it can be the case that selling at one trade everything that you have can actually push the market significantly down. So you don't want to push the market down when you sell the cryptocurrency that you possess. Let's say you have the cryptocurrency which is called XY, all right? So you want to sell the XY at the highest possible price without significantly affecting the market. So you don't want to see the candle moving like this as you sell at one trade. So all in one trade. You actually want a smooth trading. You don't want this crazy move downwards. You want to have your average sell price as higher as possible. So that's why you can use the TVAP. And actually let's take icons in this case just to demonstrate how it works. So what it does, the TVAP, it actually creates smaller portions out of your total available balance. So here I have right now 2,144 icons in total. So I don't want to sell this amount of icons all in one trade, all right? So I want to have a proportionate distribution by time. So let's say within 6 hours, like within next 6 hours, I want to sell this whole amount of icons with only, let's say, 300, no, actually let's use 60 orders in total. So what it means is that each order will execute 35.74 icons. So it's gonna sell this amount of icons in 60 orders within 6 hours. And when you have this kind of sell grid set up, then most likely you will not disrupt the market significantly. So you will not see the candle moving like this just in a split of a second, all right? You will see something like, let's say, the first order executed will be at that price. Then the price of the crypto will move downwards and you will sell the next portion at this price. But what can happen is that some traders, they will buy back the crypto from the market, which will push the price a bit higher. So it can be the case that next your third order will be executed at the higher price. So all of these 60 orders, they can be distributed randomly like this, depending on the price volatility, depending on the interest of our traders, how they are trading, like are there more sellers or buyers on the market. So as a result, you will have these 60 orders all distributed somewhere in this area, and you will get your final average price at which you sold all of your icons in this case. So this tool is very useful, especially for those traders who possess unpopular cryptocurrencies that are very unliquid, but you want to get rid of this crypto without significantly affecting the market and selling it with the highest possible price without a significant downward affection. So using TVAP, and let's actually demonstrate, sell icons, and here we go. So you see now in the open orders you have information like the amount you sold, filled. So right now that's only 1% out of 100 which is being sold, and it will proportionately sell icons with 60 orders within the next 6 hours. All right. So imagine that my value is not $777, but something like maybe 30,000 USD. And for unliquid cryptocurrencies, this, if you sell it in just one trade, like one big market sell, that will significantly affect the price. It will push it very low. Whereas with the TVAP instrument, this order now, you can smoothly sell and basically get rid of the crypto on the market fully automatically. So you don't have to manually plot all of these 60 orders each 10 minutes. You have this instrument to do this on your behalf fully automatically. So take advantage of this instrument if you have some cryptos, like large investments in some unliquid cryptocurrencies, to smoothly get rid of your cryptocurrencies. Well, in case if you want to sell it, all right. So that's in this case how you can use the TVAP. What else we have here? So notice that, for instance, in the limit order, you can now place up to 5 take profit prices. So for instance, I want to buy Bitcoin at, no, actually that's icon. Let's assume I am willing to buy icon at that price. Amount, let's say 100, no, let's actually buy more, 10,000 icons. So here below I can place my take profit orders. So that's gonna be the price at which a portion of my icons will be sold. So let's say I want to sell 20% as soon as the price reaches 0.37, another 20% as the price will keep rising higher, hopefully. And you can see the exact profit which you can get here, like 2%, 4%, 6%. And like the cool thing here is that now you have this projected profit, which is 218 USDT in this case. So it takes into account all of these orders, and it assumes that in the future they will be successfully executed, and that's why your projected profit, like your potential profit, is going to be based on this investment, 218 USDT. So yeah, you can also plot the stop loss, and it will get you, it will provide you with the projected loss in this case, because the stop loss is the order to minimize your potential loss. That's basically the bottom line of your possible loss if you have your stop loss order enabled. So if you have it here, and let's say you have it below the open price by 4%, well, in this case, if the price, instead of rising, it will fall, and it will fall down to 4%, then here is where your stop loss will be initiated. And in this case, before actually opening this trade, like before executing this trade, you can see the exact potential loss that you will get if your stop loss is going to be triggered. So most importantly, you can now enable a trailing instrument which will follow the market. So let's say you've opened the trade somewhere over here. So you purchased icons at the current price, and you set your stop loss somewhere around here. Let's make it red, and let's actually make it wider. So imagine the price starts moving higher, and as it keeps rising, this stop loss will follow the market rise. And if the market from that point will move downwards, it can actually trigger your stop loss. But in this case, this stop loss will act as a take profit, because you've purchased your icons here, it started to move higher, and now your stop loss in this case acts as a take profit. So consider using this trailing instrument to secure your potential profits. So let's move on, and let's see what else we have here. The balance. So notice that you can also see that the available amount for you to trade now, because some cryptocurrencies, and of course a portion of your total balance of any selected crypto, can be frozen in trades. It can be somewhere in automated bots, it can be in open positions, so anything like that, you get this information here. So you see, out of the whole amount of bitcoins that I currently possess, available only 0.14, which is exactly, according to current market exchange rate, that's 2,331 USD. And in trades, I only have 77 USD in this case. So that provides you a perfect overview of what is your current balance, what is the share of each crypto in your portfolio, and which crypto is currently available for you to trade with. And another cool feature that we have is that instead of going here, looking for, let's say I want to sell Bitcoin. So what would I do? I would go here, I would type in BTC. Okay, why it's not refreshing? BTC. understand why it. Let me change the hotkeys in this case. Okay, so it should work fine from now on. Sorry for that. Yeah, actually, that's because I'm using the new laptop, and sometimes I get these issues. So sorry for that. I hope this will not happen again. So once again, as you click on here, Bitcoin, you have this list of all cryptos to which you can sell it instead of spending time on manual search. That actually saves a lot of time, like 4 seconds actually makes sense, because on such a volatile market, this time can significantly change the exchange rate, and you can actually miss the buy or sell opportunity in this case. So yeah, Eva, once again, sorry for this audio disconnect. Yeah, I apologize. So I hope you can now hear my voice. Yeah, so let's continue. And yeah, basically that's all of the features that I think you have to be familiar with from now on to significantly boost your trading experience, to basically spend less time on this manual search. All you have to do, just click on Bitcoin and choose the right pair to which you want to sell Bitcoin. So let's continue and let's move on. Now futures trading finally enabled, and the only thing you have to take into account here is that you have to add a new API key to enable futures trading. So you have to go to my exchanges, and here I have some sample demo accounts. Let's switch to my live account. Okay, so notice that I have Binance Futures and I have just an ordinary one, Binance. So if you haven't yet attached a new API, then you have to do this, because with an original one, with the original API that you have at Bitsgap, you are not able to trade futures. That's why you have to add a new one, which is basically just Binance. But the only thing here is that you have to create a brand new API and make sure that you enable futures trading. So once you create it, like first step, create new API key. Next step, click on edit restrictions. And third step, enable futures trading. And add this API key and secret key right here as you add your exchange. And now you will get this Binance Futures, which you can now use to trade futures. So let's go back to the trading section here. So here is my Binance Futures, and notice that the layout of the dashboard on the right side slightly changes. Now you have the limit and market orders, as well as cross and the leverage. So as you know, you can trade futures with leverage, which basically means that you borrow the money from the exchange in order to open larger positions, because otherwise you won't be able to afford such large trades without the leverage. But the more leverage you take, like the more credit you take from the exchange, the higher is the risk, and the closer is going to be the liquidation price relative to your entry price. So it can be like, let's say you have the maximum, and for, let's say for BTC USDT, the maximum is 125 leverage. So if you initiate this trade with this maximum leverage, then your liquidation can be somewhere close by like $10 only. So you must be very lucky to avoid liquidation. So the price in this case should go upwards straight away, so that your liquidation price would not be affected, like it would not be triggered in this case. That's why make sure you fully understand what the leverage is all about. So the bigger your leverage, the tighter is your liquidation price, and the like the less leverage you take, the more gap you provide, so your liquidation price will be significantly lower in this case, which provides you like basically with the space for the price to move without affecting the liquidation price. So let's remove all drawings here. And so yeah, leverage, and of course you can switch to isolated mode. So here's the information about the isolated mode and the cross margin. You can read about it, but just to quickly remind you what this is all about. Basically, if you have the cross margin, that's 100% of your balance being taken as the collateral for the trade. So that means that with the cross mode enabled, you are risking the like 100% of your balance. Whereas with the isolated, you have the exact amount of margin from your balance used as the collateral to cover your margin trade position. All right. So make sure once again you understand what is the difference. So once again, cross, that's the 100% risk of your total balance being fully lost. So basically you will end up with a zero on your balance if the market will move in the direction which you hoped it will not. All right. So make sure you understand what is the difference here. And here you can plot stop limits and take profits as well. So if you have an open futures order, like an open position already, then you can actually make a take profit for it. So you have to click on sell, the exact amount that you've purchased, and make sure to click on reduce only, because by that you make sure that as the price will trigger the limit order, it will only reduce your open position and will not open a new one. All right. So that's once again another thing for you to keep in mind. And I strongly recommend you to practice with these instruments. As of now, we don't have the demo mode for futures trading, but in the coming future, you will have this opportunity to trade with virtual money on Bitsgap just to test futures trading, to make sure you fully understand how it works. But as of now, we don't actually have it yet. We are working on that. So make sure you understand how these instruments work. And actually on Binance, you can find more information about all of these orders and how to create take profit and stop loss for your opened futures trades. So yeah, as you open your trades, you will find that you have all information you need, like what is the liquidation price, because right now I don't actually have an open order. And let's maybe open one. Let's use 1x and let's trade Bitcoin. Amount, let's use 0.0. Well, yeah, let it be. Yeah, $16 in it. Well, actually I can change it to, I think the minimum is $10 or something. Let's use 11. Post only, buy. Okay, once again, 10%. Let's use $10. Okay, so with the leverage of 1x, I can now buy Bitcoin. Let's use 47. So now you will find your order on the chart as well as in open order. So you have all the information here, like the price at which it will execute this limit buy order, the exact amount of Bitcoins. All right. So let's drag the line closer to the current market price just to make everything quicker. Okay. It looks like the price is chasing from me. So yeah, as soon as the actually that's the way of how you can drag your position on the chart manually. So you don't have to close it and once again type the price at which you are willing to buy it. You can drag the line. So now it's been executed, and here we go. That's the open position here, the entry price, current P&L. So we are in the profit zone as the market price is higher relative to our entry price. Here's the percentage of P&L. The liquidation price here is basically zero because the amount of Bitcoins purchased is so insignificant relative to my total balance on futures exchange. It basically doesn't show the liquidation price here. But the margin here used is 16 USD in this case. So that's in this case the maximum loss for my trade. And I actually can close it with the market order if I click on market button, and I can set the limit price as well. All right. So you have here the trade history, trade transaction history, everything you need to analyze your trading activity, to find where did you make mistakes, how many times you were wrong, how many times you were right, to basically digest your trading performance. So now let's move on and switch to Autobots. So a quick reminder of what this is all about. So the idea of bots that we have, the trading mechanism is known as grid. It defines the trading range within the bot is gonna be trading on your behalf. And within this trading range, you have these known grid levels. These are basically sell limit and buy limit orders. So as soon as the price reaches a certain level, let's say it reaches this sell order, it will execute it automatically. It will take from the market 11,500 in this case. It will take a portion of it to place a new buy limit order below the executed price, and in this case the difference is the profit here. So that's exactly 250 from this trade, and that process is an everlasting process as far as the market price stays within the trading range. So it stays within the boundaries of highest sell price and lowest buy price. So that's the idea of automated bots that we have. And let's go to the bots section here, and I will show you exactly how to create, how to analyze your automated strategies. For that, let's switch to the demo mode, which once again is a risk-free trading simulator that we have here at Bitsgap for you to discover and develop on trading strategies before risking any real capital in this case. So notice that I have already some bots trading on my behalf. They all have their different configurations. So some are active right now, some are out of range, and I will explain what that means in 5 minutes. So on the right side here, you have the as I call it, decision-making board, where you can set up, you can create your strategy. So we have two strategies, the S-bot and the classic bot. The S-bot has originated from the classic bot. The only difference of the S-bot from the classic bot is in the algorithm of investment distribution. So the classic bot, with each level, it sells and buys the same amount of the base currency. So for example, that's REN trading to Bitcoin, the base currency in this case, that's REN, and the quote currency is Bitcoin. So it buys here, all of these green levels, these are buy orders, the same amount, and the same amount it sells on these sell limit orders. Whereas in case of the SBot, it buys different amount of coins, but ensures an equal investment distribution per each level, all right? So it will spend with each level the same amount of base and quote currency in this case. So there is no golden rule of like which strategy is the best, because we don't know how the market price is gonna move within the next seconds, hours, days. And it can be the case that the SBot would have performed better, and it can be the case that the classic bot would have performed better, just because of the volatility and how the market price will swing in the future. But we don't know that at the time of launching the bot, right? So that's something what I call a random effect. And basically all you have to understand here is that both strategies are optimized to ensure that the investment is equally distributed and that no extra capital is taken from your available balance. So here you see the investment. So that's basically the maximum it will take, and that's it. No extra from your available balance. And now as you've selected, let's say, the SBot strategy, let's see what we can do next. You can actually switch to the exchange, and I have a bunch of exchanges here, but let's stick to the Binance. You can change the cryptocurrency from the list here, or you can use recommended strategies. So these are the coins that are based on the historical performance of the last month. They have proven to be the most profitable. So XVC would have generated 57% of the bot profit, like in the quote currency, if you would have launched it back 1 month ago. You can actually refresh this filter by weekly basis or 3 days basis. So during the period of last 3 days, XVC, AXS, and CRV, they are top 3 performers in this case. So that means that market players like traders, portfolio managers, market makers, they are trading these cryptocurrencies. So that means that at least there is enough of the liquidity on this market. So you can choose these cryptos to trade. So I actually prefer to choose cryptos based on a weekly and a monthly basis only, because I'm somewhat an intraday and mid-term trader. But for scalpel traders, like those who are trading within minutes, hours, you can use these 3 days backtest results cryptos to generate trade ideas from the list of these recommended cryptocurrencies. So let's say I'm interested in this case in UFI trading to BTC. Let's make sure that I have enough of the BTC. Yeah, that's it. So you have UFI, BTC, and notice that your trading range is already automatically defined, but you can actually adjust it. So you can drag the line on the chart, which will change the upper price. So that's going to be the upper limit of your trading range. And you can also manipulate the lower price like this. All right, maybe to that point. So the wider your sell zone is, the more base currency is required at the time of launching the bot. Because in order to let the bot sell something, you must possess it, right? So that's why if you have a wider sell zone, that means you must possess more of the base currency relative to the quote currency. And here's the exact investment disposition. So you must possess this amount of UFIs and 0.06 Bitcoins as a quote currency to initiate this trade. Notice that if I drag my lower price higher, and by that I will narrow down my buy zone. Notice that now I have less of the quote currency, like fewer quote currency required to initiate this trade, and by that now I have more of the base currency required. So that's something for you to keep in mind. And another feature to understand is the grid quantity. So right now I have 180 grid levels. Each grid level requires a minimum investment of 10 USD based on the Binance requirements. So that gives you an idea of that the more grid levels you have, the more investment is required. But the more grid levels you have, the more opportunities for the bot, like for the algorithm you provide, to let it seize all of these orders to generate these marginal profits on your behalf. So the more grid levels, the more opportunities, but the marginal profit here is going to be lower. Whereas if you have 30 grid levels only, notice that now the distance, like the gap between the orders, has been expanded, and that means that your marginal profit potential here is relatively higher, and that's exactly 1%. But the wider is the gap, basically there is a bigger risk that the price of, like the market price, will not trigger your orders, because if you plot them too far from each other, that means that the price must move like crazy to say, like, to trigger all of these orders. Whereas when you have this tight distribution, basically you are the scalper right now, and even though their profit potential here is being reduced, still added up together, these profits generated, they will make up a decent return in a mid-term and a long-term perspective in any case. All right, so notice that I have some open trades here, 14 days period. So I've launched it 14 days ago, 7 days ago, and they are generating profits. So within the period of 14 days on RAN trading to Bitcoin, the bot has managed to generate 16%. All right, and that's the profit which goes directly to my balance. So let's switch again back to UFI Bitcoin and launch it with only 50 grid levels. So here's the exact investment value. You can change it, let's say to 0.6, maybe to 2. Notice that here's the notification that if I want to execute this algorithm with the investment value of 0.02 Bitcoins and with the amount of 50 grid levels, that's not enough. And in order to leave the same investment value, I need to press on adjust grid quantity. So now with the reduced amount of grid levels from 50 to 44, I am able to execute this configuration. The more investment you have, like the bigger is the number, like let's say 0.5, I can now have more grid levels. At some point there is going to be a restriction, so let's say 0.4. You see, I'm not able, but with 88 grid levels I can execute this trade. Start the bot. If you don't have base currency at the time of launching the bot, like the required amount of base currency for this particular trading configuration, then you are required to buy it. And as a note here, you can buy it with the market price. That's just saves your time. You can press yes, and it will instantly buy it with the market buy order. But if you don't want to buy it with the market buy order, then you can go to trading and manually buy it with the limit order. And then you go back to bots, and now in this case you have enough of the base currency to initiate the trade, and here we go. So here's our UFI trading to Bitcoin, and that's the grid amount we have, the investment. So all information we need here, investment change and the bot profit. So many traders that are still like been using Bitsgap for quite a long time, even they got frustrated of what is the difference between the investment change and the bought profit. So the bought profit is the profit generated by the algorithm in the quote currency only. So you see, waves trading to Bitcoin, the bought profit is in Bitcoins. Cardano to USDT, bought profit in USDT. So this profit is generated as the market provides our trading configuration with a bunch of opportunities to buy low and sell high. Because as you remember, the idea is to buy low in order to sell it later with a higher price. Same here. So this is the profit generated on these market swings during this period. So all of these green circles, these are buy orders, and red circles, these are all sell orders executed in this case, and that's the profit generated by the bot. Whereas the investment change can be different. So do not frustrate yourself with the investment change lower than the bot profit. That just means that as of now, the value of waves has affected your total investment, and that means that as you see the market is falling, even though the bot keeps generating profits on your behalf, your investment is lower than the bot profit. That's because during this exact period, the price of the base currency has been falling, which negatively affects your investment. So investment change, it not only takes into account the bot profit, but the value change of the base currency in this case. So even though you see the market has been rising since the inception, but this here moment is known as the shortfall, and during this shortfall we are a bit affected by the negative value change of the waves, because we have some waves currently in open orders. So you see base in open orders, so that's the amount of waves that we currently possess in this trade, and here's the amount of base currency that we currently possess. So as we possess 8 waves, that means that we are affected by the price fall in this case. So that's why your investment change here in this case for waves and Bitcoin is lower than the bought profit. RAN trading to Bitcoin. You see, I've been trading throughout this period here. Now it has fallen down to that point, and notice that as it was falling from that higher high down to current price, my investment change is significantly affected by this drop. So do not frustrate yourself with these different metrics. Just keep in mind that investment change is the only metric which is the top priority for you. So that means that your total investment is in the positive area, whereas it can be in the negative area as well. But the bought profit will always be in the positive zone, because it can never be in the minus zone, because the idea of the bot is to buy low and sell high, so it will always generate profits even on the falling, on the sideways, and on a rising markets. So as you click on view, you have all information here and the exact amount currently frozen in trades, and as well as bot statistics. So let's click on maybe Cardano, and here we go. Here's the information of what is the amount of profit generated by the bot on a daily basis. So at the time when the price stayed within the boundaries of my trading range, it has been making profits on my behalf, and here's the exact overview of how many USDTs my Cardano automated strategy generated for me. And as you have this chart, you can now get an idea of what is the average profit on a daily basis that you can expect. So despite this significant deviation from the mean, 14.7 6 USDT, it looks like the average is somewhere around 6 USDT. So at least expect from this concrete trading setup 6 USDT on a daily basis. So with this amount of the investment and with the configuration that you have, 6 USDT is the average in this case. So you can look for these statistics for every active bot. And if you go to history, these are all of your closed trades, and you can watch this information here as well. So let's say BNB. Okay, for some reason I guess the platform right now is under the technical maintenance, and that's why we don't see it, but actually you will get the same information as we have here. So you get the same daily profit statistics for every bot, even if you've closed it and it is now in your history. So using these instruments, you can better analyze your past performance to find better, like optimal solutions for future automated trades. So now we have new statuses here, and the first one is starting. That's basically no need to explain. And another one is known as the active. So as soon as you see the active status, that means that the price of the crypto is now trading within your trading range. When you see the pump protection, that means that the built-in security mechanism that we have in automated bots automatically halted trading. And the reason why the system can stop trading is in case of the extreme pump and dump scenario on the market. So on the left side, that's the example of the bot trading without this built-in security mechanism. So you would be, without this security, you would get stuck with all of your buy limit orders executed at the at the highest price as the pump occurred. So you got stuck with your base currencies purchased at the highest price, and then you see a consequent fall back to a normal area. So that means that instead of buying low and selling high, you've purchased it at the highest, and now the price is lower. So that's something you don't want to happen. You don't want to get stuck with those trades at the highest price. So with the built-in security mechanism that we have here at Bitsgap, this mode, it actually filters out and actually is able to detect with a not 100% guarantee, but with a very high guarantee rate. It can detect pump and dump scenarios on the market, and as soon as it detects this extreme volatility, it halts trading for a while so that you would have this smooth trading instead. So this chart on the right side is the exact performance traders and portfolio managers are looking for. They don't want their buy orders getting stuck at the highest price. They want this smooth trading, and that's what we have here at Bitsgap as a built-in security mechanism, fully automated. And a trailing instrument, I mean, that's the status as well. That's basically when your trading range starts following the market rise. And it is only possible if you have this trailing up instrument on. So as soon as you have it on, then the trading configuration will follow the market rise. And here's the overview. You see initial trading range, market rises, establishes new higher high, and now with this trading up instrument on, your trading range will follow the market as well, and now your trading range has been adjusted accordingly and now is trading here. Imagine the price then moves higher a bit again, establishes new higher high. So what's going to happen is that with this trading up instrument on, the trading range will continue following the market, like this. If the market falls from that point, this is where the trading halts and the bot will not trade on your behalf because it follows only the market rise. That's why it is called trailing up, not trailing down. All right. So that's why it follows only rising market. But if the price then reverts back, and this is where the bot will continue trading on your behalf. So here's the idea that you have to keep in mind. As soon as the price stays within the trading range, this is the prerequisite for the bot to keep trading on your behalf. Otherwise, if the price breaches the lower limit price, it will not trade on your behalf. But with the trailing up instrument on, if the price breaches the upper limit, like here in this example, the trading range will follow the market. So here's the example. Initial trading range was defined by these levels. It has breached the price breached the upper limit price, and now my trading range is over here. That's because I have an instrument called trailing up on. So that's enabled here. And here's the example of my trading configuration without a trailing up instrument. So when you have it on like this, the configuration will follow the market rise. When you have it switched off, then in this case it will not follow the market rise. But let's assume you were in a rush and you didn't have enough of the time to switch on these instruments. Then even though you can still click on your active trade, like we have here, UFI trading to Bitcoin, click on view and enable trailing up. Same applies to take profit and stop loss. So that's the exact idea of what are the trailing up and what are the statuses that we have. So you see I have 4 active trades out of the range, and that can be because of different reasons. For instance, here I don't have my trailing up on, and the price is now trading below the trading range. So it basically breached the lower limit price, and that's why no trading here. What about this trade? Do I have my trailing instrument on? No, I don't have it. So you see, because I don't have my trailing up here on, as the price breached the upper limit price and is now trading way higher, my bot is unable to trade on my behalf. Otherwise, if I would have my trailing up on, then it would keep trading on my behalf on this rising market, and I would, in this case, maximize. So basically, I would get more profits. Like the bot would have been able to generate more profits on my behalf. So that's something for you to keep in mind. You can manually switch it on and off, and you can actually, each time you see, let's say this was your initial trading configuration, and now you see that the price is about to breach. As it breaches, you can actually close this trade, and at the time of being here, let's say at the breakout, you can relaunch the bot with a new trading setup. So that's up to you, but that depends on the time management and the time that you have at your disposal. If you are ready to spend like hours in front of the computer, well, actually, I'm exaggerating here, but you don't have to spend hours. But if you want to manually control your automated configurations, then you would have to spend more time. With a trailing up instrument on, you have to now spend less time because you just let the bot to follow the market rise. So you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to see what is the current price to decide whether or not you should stick to your current trade or not. Or maybe it's about time to relaunch the bot. With a trailing up instrument on, you can sleep like a baby, all right? You don't have to worry about it because it will automatically follow the market rise. So that's the idea. So yeah, so that's basically for the spot trading. So what you have here is only for spot trading, and this feature is fully enabled here. And for the trading section here, if you want to manually trade, we don't actually have this trailing up on, but that's basically it doesn't mean that we will not have it later. It's just that we don't have it as of today, all right? But most likely, as we have it for spot trading for automated bots, then for the original trading, for manual trading, this configuration also makes sense, but just as of now we don't have trailing up for limit orders. So let's go back to bots and let's see what else is left to discuss. Then yeah, actually, as you are now able to launch bots, you can backtest them. So before launching bots, you can get an idea of what is like the expected return based on historical results. So let's say I want to launch Eufy BTC with 88 grids, and before that I want to check what would be the performance of the bot if I would have launched this bot back at some point of time in the past. So let's say I would have launched this bot somewhere in the 13th of October until the 31st of October. So the performance for this period of around 17 days would be 3%. So the bot would have generated 3% in the quote currency, in BTC. So that gives you somewhat an idea of what you can expect from this cryptocurrency. But take into account that each period is unique in its nature, because you see, during this period it's been falling actually. Whereas from the 5th of November until today, I guess the number will be different. So for this period of 12 days, the profit is of course going to be higher, because on the rising market there are more opportunities, and that's why it's 21% here. So yeah, now you have the idea that on this, let's calculate the exact market rise from the lowest point up to the highest, and so that was what, 136% of a rise straight from that point up to the highest price. And so on this volatility it has managed to generate 21%. So if you expect from that point that the market will continue its rally by, let's say, the same 136%, so around to that point, expect at least the same amount of the bot profit within the period of 11 days. So using this backtesting tool, you can come up with expectations. It doesn't mean that this return is guaranteed in the future, because what we are doing here is projections. We estimate, like we assume that it will have the same volatility rise as it has from that point up to that point. So that's the assumption, and that's basically what the trading and portfolio management is all about, because we are all here are learning about the technical analysis, fundamental analysis, all these instruments to empower ourselves with the idea of what the price is going to be tomorrow. But there is no 100% guarantee, of course, because that's something that we cannot predict. But at least using historical results, we can find what are the patterns and what are the average returns that can be generated. So here, for bot profits, we have it here. So you see, for this period of 11 days, with a volatility of 136%, 21 been generated by the bot. So you can somewhat expect the same or even more or less, but this is going to be somewhat a mean value for your estimations. So that's the way how you can use backtesting, and basically you can compare cryptocurrencies with each other based on this statistical data to find optimal cryptocurrencies pairs to trade with. All right. So the idea of automation here and the idea of grid strategy is to generate and basically to outperform an ordinary hodl strategy on a sideways, and in case if the market is falling, automated strategy that we have here, it also significantly outperforms the market. Here's the example, and let's show it to you. So you see, sideways market, more or less. If you would simply buy the crypto at that point where you have hodl here, and you would keep it up to current price, you would be just up by 5%. So your profit from that point up to that point of price would be just 5%. Whereas with the automation that we have here at Bitsgap, your profit would be 14%, which is 3 times bigger than 5%. And that's because of the bot generating profits on these market swings during this period of the sideways market. So here's the perfect example how automation at Bitsgap significantly outperforms an ordinary hodl strategy on this sideways market. And in this presentation, I don't have the example of how the automation outperforms simple hodl strategy on the falling market, but I promise next time I will show you. But even now you can see that as it has a proportionate distribution, buying low as the price keeps falling, you see it does not buy all of the crypto at one price. It is distributed. So that's why your average entry price in this case is gonna be somewhere in the middle here. All right. And by that, this is known as the cost average effect. Then your entry price is gonna be in the optimal area. I will show you exact examples next time, just for you to get the full idea of how automation at Bitsgap can minimize your loss in case if the market will start falling. So yeah, maybe 2 minutes more. I'm running out of time actually. I wanted to show you some strategies that I have here for you. So I have some screenshots I've taken today, and let me show you the White's presentation slideshow from current slide. No, that's not the one I wanted to show you. Sorry. Where is it once again? So yeah, here it is. So that's the trade opportunity for today. That's actually link trading to USDT. This pattern formation is known as a rising channel. You see the price is bouncing off the support of the angled up support and reverts from the angled up resistance. So this creates visually, you see, an obvious pattern formation. And this pattern formation is known as rising channel. And you can actually take advantage of this pattern formation because you see, you can at least expect that it will revert back to that point of support. All right, just based on this previous performance, you create new assumptions that it will fall back to that point. So as soon as it falls back here, and as soon as you see a bounce off, you can enter the trade. So link trading to USDT, you can add it to your list of cryptocurrencies to monitor for automated strategies, like for automated configurations. So you see, as soon as it will, well, it's not guaranteed, of course, but imagine it falls back to that point, it starts to bounce off. As soon as it bounces off, you can enter the trade with this configuration, expecting that the price will establish a new higher high exactly where the resistance, which is angled up here, is gonna be at. So that's the opportunity that I've spotted today. Another one that we have here, it is known as the triangle symmetrical top. So as you spot this formation, as you see that the price breaches the resistance line, that's the configuration that you can use for your automated bots. Eventually you see what happened with this crypto. and the opportunity of today based on this trading setup is on BNB and USDT. So you can open right now BNB USDT and you will spot this opportunity. So right now it actually looks like it is about to fall, because when you see that the price breaches support line like this, what you see right now here happening, this is actually the can be a signal that the price will eventually fall at least to that support line. But we have to wait for some time until the candle closes. I'm actually waiting for at least 2 or 3 candles to close before I decide, because it can be the case that even though this candle right now is below our support line, it can be the case that it will revert back and it will even breach the resistance. So be patient and let the market to draw at least 2-3 candles before you initiate a trade. So but actually right now it looks a bit risky, so wait for some time. This was the opportunity that I spotted at the time when the price was around here. So now it doesn't look like a trade opportunity, but still it makes sense to monitor, just in case it breaches the resistance, even though it is trading below the support now. So yeah, I think that's it for today. There is actually the question which is left. How is calculated the total amount necessary to start the bot? So once again, it depends on the grid quantity. So one is you have more grid levels. That means that for each grid level, that's going to be an additional investment, all right? And for each cryptocurrency pair on Binance, there is a minimum requirement. So let's look for Binance minimum trade size requirements. So let's see. So these are the requirements, all right? What else we have here? Trading rules. So you see the exact minimum trade amount per each crypto is here. So that's why, depending on cryptocurrency selected, the minimum trade amount ranges. So it can be the case for, let's say, for Ethereum trading to Bitcoin on Binance, more investment is required per each level comparing with the same cryptocurrency pair, let's say trading on OKEx. All right. So that depends on the selected cryptocurrency, because each cryptocurrency has its own unique trading requirements. So that can be the case of the minimum trade size and other things as well. Also, you have to take into account basically that's it, what you have to take into account. So the more grid levels you have, the more investment is required, because each grid level has its minimum trade size. So that's why we take this into account. So we have this fully automated. We have the system has this information, so it calculates it on your behalf. What is the amount required for you to launch these 100 grid levels? You see, this amount of investment that I have for 100 grid levels is not enough. That's why you see it notifies me to set at least 0.04. So that's around twice more than I need. And now you see I can launch the bot with this amount of investment. The exact sum is here, 742, the amount of base currency required and the amount of quote currency required. So everything here for you, calculated. Take advantage of it, trade, experiment, use the demo mode to risk only your virtual money to find optimal configurations before risking real money. So yeah, thanks again for your attention, and please provide me with your feedback, because I always look at it to take into account, so that next time I will prepare new material, or maybe I will take into account your recommendations. So feedback is very useful to me, and I value it a lot. So feel free to provide your feedback. And if you have some questions left, then you can always ask them in the support channel that we have here, built in the bitsgap.com. Or you can also ask your question in the Telegram chat that we have. So our support team is here for you to provide you with meaningful answers. Even if you, let's say, you want to get yourself familiar with other instruments that we have, you can go to bitsgap.com, and here's the knowledge base, and here's also the blog, and there are quite many articles that I am writing and providing you with tips and clues. So for instance, these 2 articles about possible trading configurations, these are actually my ideas here, you see. So you can use them as ready-made strategies for your automated bots. So other instruments for you to learn about to boost your trading and in portfolio management skills. So I have these articles for you as well here. So use it to empower yourself with new knowledge. So I wish you profitable trading and have a nice day. See you next Thursday. So